Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. I hope you're enjoying these Tool Haul Tuesdays. I sure am having a lot of fun with them. We've got a lot of really cool stuff. I picked up an auction, some stuff from one of the storage unit guys that I get stuff from every once in a while. And we went flea marketing with the kids. We had a good time doing that. I think all in, I spent, I just did this number in my head, $261.88. So not a bad expense this week for the amount of stuff that I have. So let's get at it, because standing around talking about it ain't gonna make it happen. All right, guys, let's see what we picked up for this Tool Haul Tuesday. Start off down here. So we've got a table full. This is the first table. We've got this Irega 18-inch adjustable wrench from Spain. We've got that adjustable and a standard spud wrench. Both of those are Klein. We've got this Husky ratchet, two Husky sockets, Husky speed wrench. Those are the undesirables from this table. We have a proto ratchet that does not have the anvil, so this has a removable anvil, and there wasn't one in it. We've got two proto wrenches and a proto screwdriver. We've got a crescent socket and I think it's a Herbrand adapter. We have a Weldon Worcester wrench and socket. That's a Thorson wrench and socket. That is all industrial. So those sockets and the spinner, and the spinner are all industrial. Those double box ends are all industrial. And then this whole row of wrenches right here are all industrial. So we can see, let me pull one up real quick. It's good and readable. I've been asked this before. You see how this says Select Steel? Drop forged. And then just made in USA. It doesn't say, people are like, Burnout, it doesn't say industrial. Let's see, where's the one? Here's one. This one, Industrial, Chicago. Forged Select Steel. See the shape in that body? Select Steel was a trademark name by Industrial. So when you see Select Steel, those are ones that Industrial usually sold to places like Western Auto. Down here, it's one of those guilty pleasures for us Craftsman guys. We pick up the Sears, we pick up the Dunlops. Here we have three Blackhawk ratchets and a Blackhawk wrench. Moving over to here, this group of four are all Bridgeport. These are unique ones. These high bars. I had never seen these in person before, only online. So you can see how they're stepped. I picked up one at a flea market, and then I walked into my local restore, and they had another one. So I ended up with two Bridgeport high bars. We've got a Herbrand and an Allen. The Herbrand I picked up at a local flea market. The Allen was grouped together with a couple other wrenches, so I had to buy them all. So let's cut back up here. Those are two Volcheks. We have a nice little Bonnie adjustable, a Bonnie double open end, and a Bonnie adapter. We've got a nice SK10, SK socket, SK universal joint, and an SK wrench. The drill bits were just in the tin, so I got all that together. Next, we'll move over here. I'm trying to get the light so you guys can see it best. These are all Barcelo Buffalo. And the second one down is one they made for an auto kit, but it's the same wrench, just without the Barcelo. Instead it says auto kit. 2 more Barcelos. We've got the Stanley screwdrivers. We've got nearly a full set. Looks like we're missing one. Isco, double open end. I may have the missing one. In the pan up here, we have Williams line wrenches. And more Williams. More Williams. Some older Williams in a socket. And then 2 of the cool pieces that I picked up at Salvation Army while we were out and about are these 2 brands. One for the Rebels and one for the Empire. I got those for $4. Never been used, so I thought that was cool. So that is the first table, non-Craftsman stuff. Pretty good haul. But I'm gonna tear that down, and then I'm gonna put the Craftsman stuff up here so you guys can see it. Oh, I almost forgot one thing, guys. We'll just pan you up over here. I did also get this cart at auction. Perfectly fits my tray for resting deoxy. So that stuff's been in, about 18 hours. We'll let it marinate a little longer. So again, I'll tear this stuff down and we'll be back. All right, I got the old stuff out of there. Set the Craftsman stuff down. Let me just snap my fingers real quick and get it all organized. There we go. So let's walk through what we have on this table. Real quick, we'll go into detail in a second. We've got packaged items, driver type items, sockets, and more packaged items. All right, so we'll start down here. Went to one of my restores, and they were running these blades, 50 pack of blades. These are the hook style, and they were $4 a piece. Now, if you've walked into Lowe's lately, they're $18 currently to buy. So I made sure the shops are stocked. What can I say? Up here, we have drivers. So we have 2 Phillips screwdrivers, a flathead screwdriver, 2 nut drivers, kind of completing out my gray set, and then one of those drivers that comes in the mechanics kits. Here we have extensions and adapters. So we have, this one's kind of cool. It's a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch adapter. I've got a newer one of these for a socket that I need for one of my Harleys. I've got 2 1/2 inch adapters, 2 3/8 inch adapters. We've got this breaker bar. You can see it is the Flying V or double line V. The second style with a hole going through it from the face and not the side. So I know I have a side one. I'm not sure if I have the face one or not. I have to check. We've got this, I don't know what it is, 2-foot extension. I do have one of these, but it's a newer one. This one, you can see it's the double liner Flying V. So we come down here, picked up 2 more of these ratchets. The tri-wing, as some people called it. These were made in Japan, and they're a really nice ratchet. They've got the thumb wheel. And both of those seem to work really well. And I picked up these two ratchets. I did not have these yet. So these are the earlier thumb wheel. Got the 1/2 inch. And the 3/8. So now I just need the 1/4 to finish out that set. Move on to the sockets. So these all came out of storage units, I think. But we've got 1/2 inch drive shallow SAE, 1/2 inch drive shallow metrics, 1/4 drive deep and shallow. Over here we have 3/8 drive deep and shallow SAE, 3/8 drive deep and shallow metrics, and those are 1/2 inch drive deep. I should have come over with the 1/2 inches, but I didn't. Picked up a chisel and a punch, and then picked up this pair of groove pliers, bump pliers. I'm gonna have to look in my toolbox and see if I've got the smaller set. I know I've got the medium and the large. I'm not sure if I had the smaller. Now finally from this table, I picked these guys up. So these are the quick wrenches. They've got the little notch in them. Those are the metric, I think it's what, the 8-piece, 6-piece. And then the SAE is the 8-piece. And that is the harder to find packaging for the quick wrench. So that's the early style packaging, that purple where it says quick wrench and has its own logo. I see a lot of the black and gold professional ones, but I do not see, I've never seen in person the purple ones. And I've never actually picked up a set of these quick wrenches. They were never my thing when they came out. So I may end up selling these, I may end up keeping them, I'm not sure. And then finally, move this up on top because it takes a little bit of room. From the same person I got those two from. I also got the RoboGrip plier set still in the package. The package is a little beat up. It popped open for us. You can see down in this corner it's a little chipped up, but I will clean this up. The RoboGrips themselves look like they've never been used. There's no wear, all the logos are bright. So these are going to be due for a big cleaning, and the package will be as well. And we won't use tools on this like we did and screwed up the package for those nut drivers as I was testing that out. But these will definitely be due for a cleaning, and they will probably end up going either with me to a flea market or maybe on eBay. And we'll get those out in the hands of someone who wants them for collectability. I have two sets that I've got for usability. I'm mostly about using my tools, but I love that people collect them because it's neat to see this packaging, you know, the way it was, and it takes us back to walking into a Sears store back in the day. At least it does for me. So that's this table. So this table will be all the wrenches we picked up just this past weekend. I'll pull the phone down off the tripod and we'll go in for a closer look. Okay, let's start over here with the double box ends. So we start off with a 1 1/16 and 1 1/4. And that one's a V. And we've got a 3/4 7/8. That's a VV. 11/16, 13/16, that's a V. 19 32nds and 25 32nds is a V. 5/8 and 3/4 is a V. 9/16 and 5/8 is a V. We jump down here. These are both flying V or double line V. We got a 9/16 and 5/8 and a 1/2 9/16. And we've got the stubby here, 5/8 and 3/4, and that's a V. Most of those double box ends will be ending up in my toolbox. I didn't have a lot of double box ends, so I was real happy to pick those up. Up here we've got some extras, 2 13/16 and 2 3/4. Here we've got extras in line for a set. So we've got a 1 1/16, and that one's a V. We've got a 1 inch, and that one's a flying V. I know I don't have that one. We have a 7/8, and that's a VA or V upside down V. A 13/16, and that one's a flying V. I don't think I have that one. A 3/4, a flying V. I don't think I have it. A 9/16, flying V. 1/2 inch VV, and a 7/16, and that one is a VV. Down here we have some metrics. Bring the light in a little closer. This is definitely as live, guys. So we've got a 17 millimeter. That's the VA, or V upside down V. This one's a VA, it's a 16 millimeter. We've got a 14 millimeter VV. We've got a 10 millimeter VA. How do I have this guy? Actually picked this one up at flea market today. And it's a double open 10 and 11, and it's the single line V on both sides. A narrow body like the flying V. Here we have some extra double opens. This one's kind of unique. It is the 1 1/16, 1 1/8. Let's see if we can get that in there. Yeah. You can see this one's got the cast V on it and the flying V. Here we have a 19/32 and 11/16. This one's got a cast B. And is a flying V. And another 11/16 and 19/32, and this one is just a flying V. Over here, we've got a 3/8 7/16, single line on both sides V. This one is a 9/16 and 1/2. Put it upside down. And it's a flying V. 19/32 and 11/16, flying V. You notice this one's the wider body flying V. This one's the narrow body flying V. So when people talk about wide and narrow body flying Vs, that's what they're talking about. Next up is this painted one, and it's a 7/8 3/4, and it's a V. We have a 1 inch 15/16. It's a V, and we have 1 1/16, 1 1/8. And it's a V. We'll come over here. This is a set all the way from 1 1/8, no skips, down to 3/8. We are missing the 5/16, but I do have one of those, I think in a box over on the shelf, and then down to the 1/4. Most of these are V or VV. So all the big sizes are V, and we'll go through them all. And then once we get down to about 3/4, we start blending in, I think it's 3 or 4 VVs. And then finally, we have the kind of oddball stuff. So this one is a 5/8 Craftsman 12 point, but it is the made in Japan. This one is the double ratcheting wrench, the stamped ones. It's a 13/16 and 7/8. It's just the Craftsman logo, it's not the crown or anything else. Here we've got a line wrench, And it's a 5/8 and 11/16. I don't think I have that one in my box. I think I've got the smaller sizes. This is one of those quick wrenches. It's a 1/2 inch. And then here we have, spin it around, a tappet wrench. And it's the 7/8, sorry, 3/4 and 7/8. And then 3 ignition wrenches. So these are all the wrenches we picked up this past weekend. Quite a haul indeed. A lot of wrenches that I don't think I have. They're gonna help complete some sets. And then some wrenches that will just get cleaned up and will be put on the market for you guys to get. So guys, what do you think? $262 well spent? I couldn't leave that new in the package stuff sitting around. Those quick wrenches, the robo grips, both of those when they came out I saw them as gimmicky stuff, but it's still really cool to see. And then even those brand new razor blades for my knife. Man, those things are so expensive if you walk into a Lowe's or an Ace. Like I said, $18 is what they want for one package. I picked them up for $4 a package at the Restore. They had an entire case. So don't think I went and took them all or anything like that. I grabbed a handful of them. So I'll stock up the pole barn where we do all the hot rod work, and I'll stock up the basement here where we do the tool work, and I'll give my wife a package or two for crafting upstairs. You know, she likes to craft and stuff, and I think those little hook blades will help her quite a bit. So what was your favorite thing that we saw here? I think for me, it was something I had never seen in person before, and it's these two guys. You know, they're Bridgeport. They're not, you know, they're probably $8 wrenches just because of the unique shape. Lots of times I'd sell these for $5-ish if it was a flat one. I'm not sure. I've never looked up the price to see what these high bars go for on eBay and that kind of thing. But picking up two of those I thought was really cool because I'd never seen one in person, and then bam, there's two of them. So guys, if you got something you want me to look more in depth on, let me know. Go ahead and give me critiques. Let me say the words right. And you know, I'm here to put this together and have fun and let you guys have a little fun watching it. I don't want you to be bored or anything. So let me know what you think. Always, you know, like, share, comment, the usual stuff I tell you at the end of these videos. And remember, I'm burnt out and you're not.